News broke on Friday that Mike DENBROCK is expected to leave LSU and join the Notre Dame coaching staff to replace Jared Parker as Notre Dame's offensive coordinator and tight ends coach. We're going to talk about this news in this video with Tim Hyde to get his reaction. Folks, please hit the thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content. And as always, go to Blue and Gold for much more on this news. We already have 4 articles up on this at the time of recording this article. We'll definitely have more as the weekend goes on. But yeah, Tim, this is his 3rd time at Notre Dame. A little bit in the 2000s, back in the 2010s, and now in the 2020s here, Mike DENBROCK. Again, expecting him to become Notre Dame's offensive coordinator and tight ends coach. This news has not been made official by the university, again, at the time of recording this video. But, Tim, we were texting off air, obviously. I know you're pretty excited about this one.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is a great hire. I mean, we talked about this on Wednesday night, on our Wednesday night show with Mike Goolsby. You're getting the Al Golden on offense, so to speak. You're getting an elder statesman, the guy who's been through the college football wars for decades. And no, I mean, this is just extremely exciting. Obviously, he knows Notre Dame. He's recruited Notre Dame. He knows how to coach the players at Notre Dame, knows the ins and outs, all those good things. But what's really awesome about him is he's kind of been his own man since 2017. He's part of Luke Fickell. We'll get into that, I'm sure. Part of building Cincinnati into a group of 5 playoff team. And now they're into the Power 5, Cincinnati going into the Big 12. Obviously, what he did at LSU is awesome. I mean, it really is. LSU was horrible on offense just a couple years ago. People want to talk about, well, they got, the Heisman winner. He's the offense. People, 2021, Jaden Daniels had 10 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. 10. He was one of the lowest ranked guys in QBR, the ESPN quarterback metric. And 2 years later, he's the Heisman winner, 40 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, number 1 in QBR. Drastic, radical difference of what he's done at the LSU offense, with obviously Mike DENBROCK calling all the shots. He's called every single offensive play. So sure, he's been at Notre Dame. He was with Brian Kelly, all those things. I'm looking at him from 17 to 23 and what he's done. He's one of the top offensive coaches in the country. And for Marcus Freeman to go out, and this was, I'm sure, his number 1 guy. And I'm sure it's the first guy he talked with, and they started chatting and all those things behind the scenes. Not only that, Mike Elko, who's the first coach Mike Elko called to run his offense in College Station? Mike DENBROCK. So for him to say no to A&M and yes to Notre Dame, congrats to Coach Freeman and the Notre Dame administration for making this happen.
Yeah, there really are so many different angles here to talk about, Tim. There is one, stealing away DENBROCK from Brian Kelly. That's maybe like a fan kind of thing for us to be like, oh, that kind of feels good, just to stick it to old BK. There is the element about for folks being like, I don't want Marcus Freeman to keep hiring Cincinnati guys. I'm tired of this. I mean, there's a few different Freeman was at Cincinnati for a few years, but here's the 2019 coaching staff. You got Luke Fickell's head coach, DENBROCK, offensive coordinator, Marcus Freeman, defensive coordinator, Brian Mason, who's obviously Notre Dame special teams coordinator under Freeman before he left for the Colts. Mike Brown, assistant coach of receivers. You got Gino Caduli down here, quarterbacks, Mike Mickens, cornerbacks. And then you've also had Al Washington, of course, at Cincinnati while Freeman was there. So this kind of is a perfect little thing. Like, you're going out like and stealing this Broyles finalist kind of guy away from another top program. So that kind of feels like an outside kind of big hire like that. But also, it's someone that Marcus Freeman knows well and trusts. So there is that Cincinnati tree of this that's important. And then I wanted to pop up real quick, Tim, his coaching history, the gray hair factor, as we always like to talk about. Goolsby mentioned our show Wednesday. He's got that long history. When you see Grand Valley State, back in the 80s and 90s, that's, we're looking at, coaching with Brian Kelly. Offensive tackle, tight end coach. I pulled this off Wikipedia before we started recording. This is from 2000 to 2004, he was at Notre Dame, and then was back on staff from 2010 to 2016. Tight ends coach, receivers coach, offensive coordinator. I see he really has experienced him coaching every single position on the offensive side of the ball, which is fantastic. He's even had some experience as a defense coordinator. So the experience is just vast, Tim. He knows Notre Dame. He's going to know where the bathrooms are, So on so many different levels, you have to love this. He is expecting to be the tight ends coach at Notre Dame. So Gino Guidugli, you have that quarterback focused coach. It's not like when Tommy Rees was here. And most often coordinators are also quarterbacks coaches, Tim. So you get him as an offensive coordinator to focus on that, be the GM of the offense. And then you still get Gino Guidugli to work with the quarterbacks. And then one more thing before I let you go, Tim, going back to the gray hair factor, he's actually older than Al Golden. Al Golden's 54 years old. DENBROCK's 59. So this really does feel like kind of you have, the Al Golden of the offense, like you said, Tim, to go along with this young, youthful coaching staff at head coach. The recruiting office is all in their 20s pretty much. And you got young assistant coaches across the board, but you do have the gray hair factor on the coordinators. I love it, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, let me just jump into a couple of those. Number one, the last point was recruiting. People need to realize Mike DENBROCK's one of the top recruiters out there. Me being a California guy, he knows California. He is relentless in California. Awesome. I've met him many times on the recruiting trail. When I heard this was happening, I was like, yes, because I think Notre Dame and California go hand in hand. They've had great success, great players in the history of Notre Dame, and you have to constantly be in that great state. So I'm sure DENBROCK, that's going to be his baby. Go get California like wild. And when you see the gray hair, I love that. Yeah, it's a good thing. We'll have to keep that one. But just go on the resume. He was the offensive line coach at University of Washington for Tyrone Willingham. So you're right there. He's coached everything. And yeah, it's tight ends. Hey, they could easily get a good solid GA to help with DENBROCK as he maybe roams on offense. You have probably two of the top, I'll say 5 position coaches in the country when you look at Dylan McCullough at running back, and obviously Joe Rudolph on offensive line. No offensive line coach from 2015 to 23 has been nominated for the Joe Moore Award as often as Joe Rudolph. So that is a great thing. And Rudolph is coach tight end, so he could easily help out at that position if need be with the front 5. So it's a heck of an offensive coaching staff, Mike. You got Gino Guidugli, boom, quarterback to your baby. That's all you need to do. Go focus on those things. A wide receiver coach he knows. Gino replaced DENBROCK, obviously, as the OC at Cincinnati, so he's got experience. It's a heck of an offensive staff. It's really exciting. And just to throw one quick thing out there, when you look at the numbers of what Mike DENBROCK's done, when he took over LSU, him and Brian Kelly, they were 80th in the country in total offense, 80th. In 2 years, number one. And that obviously is the Heisman Trophy winner. But they coached the Heisman Trophy winner. They built the offense around him. He was the engine that just got that thing rolling. And it's going back to, like I said, Daniel struggled at Arizona State. He was not an all Pac-12 quarterback at all. So for what they did with him, it's exciting. And your specialty, Mike, on the recruiting trail, are you kidding me? You're going to have your offensive coordinator with a Heisman Trophy? What's that going to do with Deuce Knight? It's going to get him pumped up. What's that going to do for the quarterback coming from California next month on a visit? Is going to be electric. So this is positives all around, and I'm just really, really excited to have Coach DENBROCK coming aboard.
Yeah, before we sign off this video, Tim, I want to look at one other item here. And how this all kind of came together is fascinating to me. Here is a report from Ross Dellinger, who is one of the most well-respected reporters, and this is tweeted December 6th. LSU is finalizing a 3-year extension to retain offense coordinator Mike DENBROCK. That is put out because it's happening, which I always like to say it's not official yet because clearly this extension was not made official. I was told that, hey, this extension was sitting on DENBROCK's desk. I don't know if he just didn't get around to it or he had some second thoughts. I don't know. But if Dellinger put this out there clearly. It was about to happen, very close to happening, whatever. And Notre Dame kind of lucks out that Jared Parker gets the Troy job. And then DENBROCK is like, yeah, I want Notre Dame. I mean, Jaden Daniels is gone. And then you bring in, obviously the Duke transfer, Riley Leonard, for a guy like DENBROCK, who is, so much of his coaching time has been in the Midwest. You can be a little bit of a fish out of water talking about your family down there, like Brian Kelly does. I mean, SEC country is just it's different than so much of DENBROCK's experience coaching. Again, Michigan State, Notre Dame, Cincinnati. When you look at his resume, those are the places he's been at the most. So, he's back in his roots, and fascinating how this came together. Tim, I don't know if you want to add anything on that.
Just to go off of that, I was reading Football Scoop earlier, the webpage that handles all the coaching news out there. And this is a biggie that they're reporting is it's going to be a 4-year contract. Notre Dame doesn't do 4-year contracts for assistant coaches. So Football Scoop is reporting it's a 4-year deal. Traditionally, you got 3-year contracts like Al Golden's going into his year 3. So that's awesome news. That's awesome news that they are just, boom, going, helping out Coach Freeman. This is the guy he wants. And just the last thing on Freeman, DENBROCK, plenty of, rumors out there on Football Scoop and other about Golden possibly, working on his deal and things of that nature. Mike, this is awesome that the Notre Dame administration is really like, bam, we got a couple of years under Freeman. We see where we're going. You mentioned the recruiting staff on campus. Those guys are relentless, how they've been handling the last couple of years. So there's like a whole, I mentioned this on Wednesday. It feels like a reboot in a way, in so many ways. And now with DENBROCK coming aboard, it's a big one. So it's exciting how so many things after 2 years, and now you're looking at really 3, 4, 5, 6, couple more years out, a group of coaches that hopefully are together to see Notre Dame get to the playoffs and do some damage, which it's only been done a handful of times since Coach Holtz left.
What an exciting time for Notre Dame football. And yeah, I'm glad we finished on this administration piece because they supported Marcus Freeman. I know from what Football Scoop reported, because DENBROCK didn't sign his deal extension with LSU, and I believe he only had the 1 year left. It was only like in the 300,000s for the buyout rather than, over 2 million or something wild. So very good to see that get done. And yeah, Marcus Freeman identified as guy. Was it just Monday that Jared Parker left for Troy? And here we are Friday with this breaking news. So fantastic to see. A+ all around. I mean, as good as a hire that you're going to get. For all the reasons that Tim and myself outlined here. So please hit the thumbs up, folks. I'm sure you're excited about that news. So please hit the thumbs up on this video to show that you like it. And then let us know what you think about it in the comments of this video. Let us know what you think about some of these items that we've talked about, as well as this news in general. Mike DENBROCK returning for a 3rd stint at the University of Notre Dame. Hit that thumbs up, folks, and we'll catch you next time.